Hello everybody, this is Jeremy from the DAW. Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the PreSonus Faderport 8. This is this thing right here, and the Faderport 8 is essentially a 8-channel DAW controller. What that means is this does not have preamps, it's not an interface, this simply controls your software. Now, one thing that makes this really good is the price point. The Faderport 8 comes at an amazing price point for the build quality. The top of this unit is made out of metal, it feels great, and these buttons are made out of this very nice kind of rubberish material. The way that they feel is extremely soft, but extremely sturdy. They're also very quiet and very responsive. The way that it lights up is very nice. It has a lot of colors that you can choose from, especially if you're using Studio One, where you have full integration. And speaking of integration, this thing integrates pretty well. It has Mackie and Huey control modes, meaning that you can use this inside of other DAWs, including Pro Tools. And currently I own Harrison Mixbus, Reaper, Pro Tools, and Studio One, and it works flawlessly in all of them. I've had zero issues, and I pretty much can do the same thing in all of them, except a little bit more in Studio One because it's literally designed by the guys at PreSonus for PreSonus software. Now, one of the downsides is that this is not going to allow you to be able to control your Studio Live Series 3 console. So if you have a rack mixer like I do, you're not going to be able to control the faders. For the price range, I didn't expect this to be able to do anything like that. Now, I mentioned the price range quite a bit. I'm going to have links to where you can check it out and where you can buy it. But my whole opinion behind this is there are 3 current sizes. We have the single channel, the 8-channel, and the 16-channel. Honestly, the single channel doesn't really seem very appealing to me, especially since it's essentially just the control surface area and then one fader. That's great if you're on the go and you just need to control one fader doing automation at a time, but I have to do mixes with usually about 40 to 70-ish tracks at the end of the day, and for me, I really need something that's at least a handful, and having 8 faders is perfect for me. I can easily bank between 8 faders. I can get most of my drum kit right there, and it really works really well. And since using this thing, I have become addicted to it. The first night that I had it, I updated the firmware, and my wife literally had to make me go to bed. It was just so much more intuitive mixing using this thing than using my mouse and just clicking through stuff. I wasn't really getting tired. I was able to mix a lot faster and a lot more efficiently, and that is really the key point to a DAW controller. If you're going to have something that's essentially a digital mouse, it better work very well. And for this price point, it works perfectly. Now, the 16-channel Faderport is double the size because it has double the faders, but that obviously also means that it has a big footprint. A really cool thing about the Faderport 8 and the Faderport 16 is that they're able to control plugin parameters, and more importantly, third-party plugin parameters, and they remember what they're being mapped to. And that's mostly written inside of the software that you use. So if you're in Studio One really handles that. It works really well. It's extremely intuitive. I'll show some footage of how easy and intuitive it is. And honestly, it's just a dream to work with. If you're doing a lot of automation with plugins, this is the way to go. Now, the 8-channel Faderport will allow you to have 8 channels of plugin control and 8 buttons, meaning that you can have 8 buttons that can change stuff, turning it on and off, switching it between different states. And then you have 8 faders that are completely controllable for plugin parameters. So you can have something like a low and high pass filter here, a mid bell, and then the Q and gain here, and then maybe another one with a gain, Q, and frequency selection. Pretty cool, right? Now, the 16-channel one has 16 faders to control parameters with and 16 buttons, giving you a total of 32 plugin parameters that you can control. That is kind of the downside with the 8-channel, is that you're limited with 8, and I think it would be really cool if a firmware update was added to allow you to use banks, like how you do with your channels, buses, sends, auxes, stuff like that, with plugin parameters. Besides that, honestly, I can't fault this thing at all. It has a really nice pan knob right here on the left. You can also switch between pan mode on the Faderport itself, and so you can make your faders become your pans. It's basically pans to faders. You can do the same thing with aux sends. You can open up plugins, you can close plugins, you can control the parameters. it's really, really flexible. And I really have to stress that this isn't the best part about this thing yet. My favorite part about this thing is the faders. They feel very good. And that's where I think PreSonus really did do a good job with this, is they tried to cut corners where they had to, not where they could. They just did it where they had to, so they gave you a very high quality product with minimal issues. Obviously, you're not able to expand it into a 16 channel by adding another 8 channel. That's something we had to lose for the price. But I've used some cheaper DAW controllers, and they don't feel as good as this. Their buttons don't feel as nice, and their buttons get jammed. The more expensive ones might have a nicer look to it. They might have nicer LEDs or something like that, but also they're very limited. Some of them only work inside of Pro Tools and stuff like that. And that, to me, for the price point that you're paying, is not worth it. Now, do I recommend getting one of these? Yes, but I do not recommend getting a single channel one or a 16 channel one. And the reason for that is because the price jumps pretty high when you get the 16 channel one. It's almost double the price, and it's so big that you really are going to have a lot of space for it. The 8 channel one, on the other hand, fits really nicely on my desk. I still have room for more stuff over here. I can still control my channel strips over there. It's a really nice form factor, and it has a lot of flexibility and a lot of connectivity to it as far as software control. And then the single channel one, even though it's so small, you have 0 plugin control, which once you start having plugin control, you don't want to live without it. And that's kind of like my reason why I'm saying, if you're going to get one of these things, get the 8 channel. It's the best bang for your buck. It has the most flexibility without compromising space or a huge price range. And honestly, it looks really cool. Now, so what I'm going to do is we're going to have maybe 3 or 4 videos showing you some of my favorite features and how I like to use them inside of the Faderport 8. Those videos should all already be recorded, so they just need to be edited and put up online. But my honest recommendation of this thing is, if you want to get a very affordable but very high quality DAW controller, get the Faderport 8. I would skip the single channel and I would skip the 16 channel, because for the bang for your buck that you get, the 16 channel is a little expensive for just adding 16 channels, and the single channel just doesn't do it for me because it has too little things to offer. The 8 channel pretty much offers everything at a really good price. Now, the reason why I'm saying the 16 channel is a little bit too expensive is because for that price range, which is almost $1,000, I think right now, since it's on sale, I would save another $800 or $900 and just buy a Series 3 16 channel console. The reason for that is because I already own a Series 3 console, the rack console, and I could actually, for an extra $1,000, instead of spending $800 or $900 on a Faderport 16, I can buy a Series 3 console, connect it through AVB, have 32 channels, and even use the 24R as a stage box for when I do live events. Or in my studio, I could just throw it across the other room. I have hundreds of feet of Cat5 cable already. It would be really, really cool. And it would kind of make sense, especially since I only do sound for a living. But honestly, I think the 8 channel is the one to get. 1 channel doesn't really wow me. 16 channel, really cool. But at that price point, I would buy something that can give me DAW control and be an interface. So that's going to be it for this video. This is Gemma in the DAW. I will see you guys next time. Bye.